Aye. Yeah.
For this a long time.
Let's go.
It goes buddy, money, there. Legit Paranormal. Money, there. Joey Paranormal. Joey Legit Paranormal. Legit Paranormal. Legit Paranormal. Legit Paranormal.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Legit Paranormal Open Bar. I am your host, I am your bartender this evening. My name is Buddy Thayer, in case you didn't know or have never watched the show before. I am the co-host of Legit Paranormal live at 7:05 on Sunday nights. I occasionally do a spot here on the Open Bar. I produce the show tomorrow night. It's a legit metaphysical world with Dale Beluccio, my auntie Dale. She does a tomorrow night show. Host Denise Roberge. She's a empathic medium, and oh my god, she does a lot of wonderful things with dead people and how to communicate with them and whatnot. So tune in live tomorrow at 8:05 with Auntie Dale, as she does. It's a legit metaphysical world. Wednesday night is the news with Mike and Dreamy Dave Barr live at 8:05. Thursday is Legit Paranormal Clips. We bring back Tony Rathman from last week. Tony Rathman Part 2. He'll go through his other clips, his more longer clips that we didn't have time to present. The show will be hosted by myself, Buddy Money Thea, King Mike L, Roxanne Jasparo, or the Legit Witch, as Mike has dubbed her, and Rick Isaac, Block Island Rick, if you will. We'll go through some of Tony's more longer clips with EVP sessions and all sorts of good stuff. And tune in live Friday night at 9:05 for Daniel Bigfoot Benoit, as Daniel he brings us stuff from live from Virginia, which is absolutely tremendous. It's a wonderful. I dip my toes into the Bigfoot pool every Friday because that's how wonderful Daniel's show is. Me not being a Bigfoot guy, Daniel really takes us for a walk into the woods to find Bigfoot. Anyway, I digress. Tonight's show, I'm serving up something very special. It's one of the original shows. It's one of the originals. It's one of the top 3 shows of all time that we have here on Legit Paranormal or Legit Podcasts. It's an episode of Legit Paranormal. It aired on, I think it aired right around the same time last year. So today's February the 13th, 2023. For you math geeks, I don't give a shit, so you're out of luck. It was Kev and Mike were talking about missing football not being on the air. As anybody knows, football was on the air last night, and the Philadelphia Eagles were robbed of the Vince Lombardi Trophy by Kansas City Chiefs. Such is life, we go on. So like I said, tonight I'm going to play you one of our better shows. It's live at the time. It was live at the Barnum Memorial Armory in the drill hall, where we are conducting a live spirit box session at the time. Myself, Joey Paranormal, was there, and our guest Kevin Hart, or Kevin Smith, how I refer to him as we open the show, is joining us, and we go through the evening. We walk you through the spirit box session, and then kind of towards, well, I'm not going to tell you when it is, but there's some we show you why we still carry the spirit box and use it as investigators. So without further ado, I bring you the episode from the Armory. Let me see if I can figure this out, because I'm not exactly known to be technical.
Have you heard me at all, Kev, this whole time?
No.
No. It's me. It's Mike Lepre. It's King Mike L. Legit Fantasy Sports bringing you Legit Paranormal. You didn't hear a single word that was said, so the audio will start with maybe like a nice 10 seconds of silence, but we all need a little bit of silence sometimes. Kev, how are you tonight for Paranormal?
I'm doing good, King. Ready for some hopefully on location research and hopefully a good night.
Yeah, I'm hoping for something fun. I'm hoping for something fun to happen. I'm happy that the microphone's even working, goddamn it all even. But let me ask you this really quick, Kev, before I bring our guest on. How's Sunday's been without football? How are you hanging in real quick? Like, you get antsy like I do?
Yeah, I do. I don't like it. I have to say, having doing this show is like a good anchor because it's something to look forward to. And I know how Sunday night's going to go at least, but I hate to I have so much free time. I'm trying to get back to the non-football groove. I don't like it.
Look, I bet on you and someone else racing. That's where I'm at. I'm looking for the action. Like if you were like, we're gonna have a race, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is Sunday night. It is paranormal, so that means it is Buddy Fair. Buddy, how are we tonight?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing? So I'm feeling
sir.
much better than I have in the past week or so because I recently learned that beer is tolerable in my body without my gallbladder. So I'm very happy about that. And I'd like to just take a moment just to introduce the beer that I'm drinking this evening. It's a special. It's a 7th anniversary of Proclamation Ale Company. It's their tribute to their recently deceased owner and founder. This is his his comic figure, Chip Mendelson. But his name was Dave Witham. He passed away on Christmas Day last year, 45, and he leaves a daughter of 11 years old. So they're doing these special beers. This one, Proclamation did a beer with Tilted Barn called Ripe, which is very delicious. I had some this evening. And the proceeds for these beers are going to the scholarship fund for this guy's daughter, who's 11, and she's got to grow up without a father. So at least the least we could do is try and help her go to college and have a good education. Second of all, I'd like to do a shout out this evening before we get going on our show. A good friend of mine who knows better that when Uncle Buddy wants beer from the fridge, he'll go to the fridge, he'll swim through the sea of ultralight Michelobes and the Miller Lights and go to the back of the fridge and find a good old Proclamation and bring it right to Uncle Buddy. Happy birthday, Connor Ryan Ahern, who turned 6 years old this week.
Happy birthday, Connor.
Connor,
Beautiful can.
Beautiful can. Yeah, it's even better is you spin it around and the alcohol percentage is 8.7.5. Oh, wow.
Even better.
Which is even more delicious. So tonight, I'm about 2.5 years deep, and I'm happy to welcome this week's guest to the show, Kevin Smith. I'm sorry, Kevin Smith. Kevin Hart. Kevin is a paranormal investigator, not a ghost hunter. Kevin brings with him a wealth of tools that any investigator uses, and even some that people don't use, just like the trigger to better research, to have better evidence. To just, I don't know, Kevin's going to explain some of the stuff that he brought with him tonight. Then he's going to do a demonstration. So without further ado, Kevin Hart, the
not so famous one, but I'll take it.
How you doing tonight, Kev?
Good, Mike. How's everything going?
It's going good. I saw the picture where they have like Buddy's organ with us, and it's purple. Who decided on purple for an organ? Like, it's purple. It made it like grapey, fun looking. It was like his own Kool-Aid man.
Maybe Buddy's bladder is really purple.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. So, Kevin Hart, this is the Genius Kev. Genius Kev, this is Kevin Hart, officially on air. Joe Britlin is working the camera right now. He's more of like a scores ladies where he works, like builds equipment kind of kid. Like Joe's like the young stud of the group. That's how you would refer to him. He's like the who's the youngest one on a Joey? Was it Joey from New Kids on the Block? The little one?
Joey, yeah.
That's the role that he would play if this was a 5-person group, which it isn't, but I would say. But so Kevin Hart builds incredible things. Like he kept showing different things, and you just go, wow, like what? I love gadgets. I love gadget makers. So, Kevin Hart, please explain a little bit of what it is you do, how you like to come in, set up, maybe what you did so far tonight.
All right. What we're going to focus on is the spirit box. There's some controversy with it, but I love it. It's called a spirit box, and all what it is, it's any AM or FM radio that has a scanner removed or severed where it doesn't stop scanning. And there's something about that frequency sweeping that spirits or whatever entities can use it to communicate with us. And I've heard some great stuff out of there, where even in this very building, we've set up right in this room, and we got some really cool things. Like we hear women, children talking, something that should never be on a radio show.
Right.
Yep.
But the thing is, it's figuring out why it works and how we can improve upon it. And that's what a lot of like what I focus on too is like, okay, I'm getting a name, and you find out there's a name associated with an item in this building. What's the next step? But like right now, what I want to do really is demonstrate what this radio does. And one thing I want to point out too is that all the equipment that ghost hunters use, was never meant to be ghost hunting equipment in the first place, or anything was original for detecting ghosts. We just adapted stuff. And so there's going to be some possible, errors in what you think you're going to get, but at the same time, if you do it correctly, you're gonna come across stuff that's like just baffling.
Yeah. So,
yep.
One second, Kevin. For Genius Kev, if I was going to describe Kevin Hart as like an athlete, right? What he does.
Where do we even go?
If one person, here's my analogy. If one person were to bring like one recorder, Kevin Hart's going to bring like 50. Like he's going to build more than you build. He's going to get more stuff than you can. He's going to kill a squirrel with a shotgun, with a spread that's like this. He doesn't pinpoint. He's not like a sniper, Kev. He's not like a sniper shooter. Volume.
His mother, his grandmother.
Yeah. That's what he does, kind of. That's my, so you got to get a feeling of how he works.
Okay, got it. Kev, can I ask you just a question on the sort of technology in general, right? Yep. So to someone that's coming from outside this kind of sphere, I hear spirit box. I understand what it means. Like you're just checking the frequency ranges, but I guess what's the history on that? Like, who came up with that idea? Why did people start thinking, hey, maybe we need to look at all the frequencies instead of the audible ones?
I believe the first person who actually started messing with this, I think it was Edison.
Oh, right.
Yep. And when he came up with the Ediphone, it was for him to communicate to the spirit world. And that's where it all started originally. But the modern day spirit box, that came out, I believe, in the 80s originally.
Frank something, right?
Well, there was Frank Sumption, but there was someone before him, George Meek. And they were doing stuff. However, the guy he was dealing with was kind of a shady character, so we don't really know, but that's where it started from. And then a bunch of guys who got involved with Frank Sumption, unfortunately passed away a few years ago, right. But they just took off where he left off, and they're still building stuff. And what's great about it is being on Facebook with these guys. I communicate with these builders, and we'll talk about stuff, and I'll throw ideas at them, and we try to come up with new, techniques and different changes to their spirit boxes. And
right now, essentially, right, this spirit box technology is essentially just white noise, right?
There's two things going on. You could either, and there's a lot of in-battling because of this. Entities can use the broadcasted words and music and form words out of those. And then there's the other class that uses the static, where they're just using the static to create the words. And so you could either go both or one or the other. A lot of the guys, they just stick with the original thing of broadcasting words.
Okay.
I'd rather not use them because because you're always going, well, would that come from a radio show? Was that music being played? It's just, a natural sound.
Right. But then again, you get like responses on the Spirit Box. If it sweeps like 8 to 12 different radio stations, I've gotten "get the fuck out." You're not going to hear that on. First of all, you're not going to hear that word on a radio station. You're not going to hear it scanned through 12 different radio stations simultaneously, all saying "get the fuck out." It's not plausible to me.
In fact, the very first investigation that I was on with Buddy, we were at this paint house,
Yep.
and everyone in the room heard. It was 4 different voices formed this sentence. It goes, "Please let me in, hear me, paint house," and we all heard it. And how could that happen? It went over like what, 4 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds.
Right. It was a sentence coming through on multiple different radio stations all at one time. It's just, it's way too coincidental for me to be. I don't know. I can't flip through the radio stations on any given day in my car and have that kind of coincidence with that. In that moment that you ask for specifically to do something, and it does. You can't. You can't. I can't recreate it, for example, at all, ever.
So Kevin, question. So after speaking the Cesare and learning how these spirits can do stuff, if you were ever like smacked by a spirit, I'm being dead honest, would you stop doing what you're doing?
No, it would actually. I was on an investigation where I got literally, it was a hand slowly dragged down my face. Wow. And the sensation lasted like 6 seconds, and it felt like I walked in the cobweb, But I was just standing there and it was this hospital, and one of the guys that I was investigating with, he got a scratch around his back of his neck, and you saw it was like the middle finger, and then on the end you saw all 4 fingers on the end on the side of his neck. And he was just walking down on the hallway, and people were like, "Dude, you got a scratch in the back of your neck." He's like, "What? I didn't feel anything." And another time we were using the REM pod. The very first time I used a REM pod, and which is a device, this thing here, that's that detector where if you come close to it, it sets it off. Well, my buddy Jason was going, "Hey, show Kevin that you're activating it." And so I walk over to it and I put my hands out, and it goes off. And then all of a sudden I felt the
Oh, what the fuck?
finger touch the back of my hand. And the lights were on at the time. It was like, there was not a bug or anything. Someone literally poked the back of my hand. Just as if they were.
What would it take?
What
kind of beating would it take?
I think I told you the last time when I was on, something actually attacked me. This was back when I was like 19 or 20 years old. Something jumped right on top of me, and I just felt this evil, and I fought it. And that day I went home, slept in the same bed that was comfortable. I was just, what are you gonna do?
What the fuck, dude?
So I don't know what it would actually take.
A genius. You're a genius for a reason. But does that make sense?
Yeah, that does not make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. I question it all the time.
Yeah.
I could be in the basement here by myself and be like just thrilled.
Well,
and I'm like, why am I not freaking out? This is abnormal.
Well, when Buddy said he on 10 different frequencies it comes through get out, I'm gone. That's, you don't have to hit me 10. Yeah, you don't have to get physical.
On the first frequency. I'm out. And just give me one.
Yeah.
So far nothing has happened to me. Not knock on wood.
All right, so what are we doing tonight? What are we doing tonight? Like, how are we steering them up? Have you been like telling them like bad jokes or picking on them? Like, what are you doing to get the spirits riled up? Like,
I haven't done anything yet. Usually, when I go into a building, what I do is I won't talk. I throw recorders out everywhere, and then I start to set my cameras up. So it takes a while to put all that stuff out. But what happens is that I'll put the stuff out, and they're if they know you or are just curious, they'll come around and start talking to you. And so once that initial phase happens of getting in there, and then I would like introduce myself, and I thank them for allowing me to be there. You know, 'cause that's their home. That's how I treat it. Being very respectful, and then I just ask them just to hang out and share whatever they can and interact any way possible. And one of the funny ones is that I said in this one place, I go, I would love to see you. And on the voice recorder above me on the second floor, a guy responded, impossible.
Wow.
So, gentlemen, let me just take you for a walk around where we're at. We're at the Varna Memorial Armory in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. It's a fantastic organization. I hope to have them on a show, maybe like do a 2-part series, because they have a lot of history here and they have a lot of weird stories here. So this is what was going to the hall. Up there on the far wall is Nathaniel Green, a portrait. But as you walk behind me here, the newest piece is the candy pounder covered in a rebel, in a Confederate farmhouse in Maryland, and it was taken by Union troops during the Civil War. This is a 1883 Gatling gun. They have the back where they would keep the bullets and stuff. And I believe it was used in the Indian Wars. And this is 1863 Civil War James rifle cannon. All these pieces, I believe they still all fire. In the back, we have the pieces of the USS Maine that started the Spartan, the Spanish-American War. And in this very room, like Kevin said, there's been a lot of, like, we've got men, we've got women, we've got children. Downstairs is a much more elaborate collection, like personalized items. So in a place like this, you got to ask yourself: is it the attachment to these pieces that were used in battle, like the gloves downstairs that are covered in blood, or a rifle that a man carried for 5 years, or a jacket that he wore and he was killed in a major battle, or is it the people who built this organization? Now, in this very room that we're standing in right now, right where I'm standing, a man witnessed an apparition just walking like this, and he didn't have any legs. You could see like the waist up. Another time, people were doing work in here. They were doing work on the brickwork, and that door in the back, right to the right of that green, kept opening and shutting on its own. It's just like, is it residual? Is it intelligent? I think a lot of it's intelligent here because they go back and forth with us. Is it people that are connected to the artifacts that are here in the armory, or is it people who built the armory? So that's questions that you should have in mind this evening when we're running the spirit box. You'll ask questions. People will ask questions, and we either base it around artifacts or like past investigations where we've collected voices. Like, is there a child here? Is there the spirit of a woman here? And you base it around like Allen, who was like the first curator here, or Major Wilson, who was like curator here for 35 years. He lived in an apartment right in the back there. And then after he left here, he was going here for maybe a year and he died. So I mean, is that spirit that walked across this that was seen walking across where I'm sitting right now really looked like this Wilson guy? So we like to target. And Kevin brought other toys here. If you look over here on the table, these little dolls, the fire truck, the American flag, all trigger objects that might initiate contact with the spirit. You know.
Question for you. I want to ask quick. The Gatling gun. Can I just see that again real quick?
Yeah.
That's what the breed is. I want 2 on my front yard. 2. Look at that thing. Don't you have to crank it?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this.
Look at this. Yeah, imagine.
I did a painting downstairs that features five of these things in a row in battle and formation, and they think the third one in is this one. This was made in Hartford, Connecticut. It says right here. This is the maker, 45 caliber, model 1883. So stuff like that is the spirit's connected to that, or is it behind us here is this flag here, the first American flag that flew into Germany after World War I ended, after the armistice. So is there some connection to that? I don't know.
So, buddy, question for you. When you were when you started talking about the place and some of the activity that's happened here, you mentioned something about having almost like they communicate like back and forth with you guys. Like how long have you been going there, and has it gotten like? It's a weird question to ask. Is there almost like they're more comfortable? They get more comfortable with you. Not a like you're almost building like some kind of a trust relationship there. Like
maybe. Honestly, I've been here where it's just us investigating. I've been here. We've come here and done like investigations ourselves. We've come here with the public and done investigations. We've come here and in this very drill hall had a medium, and he did a gallery reading. We had 200 people in this drill hall. I was sitting in the back, and just me and just one other person heard this sound, but it was the sound of like a baby crying, like right around here, right in the front here, where there was kids and with people, but there was no one there under 18 years of age. I knew it because I sold all the tickets and we let all the people in. So she turned around, she looked at me, she said, "Did you just hear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was a baby." Like, there's no freaking baby in it. You know, just like stuff like that. Like we got responses on the spirit box that like directly connect you. You ask for a specific person and you get yes, I'm here, or just like weird. Or maybe they are more comfortable with us.
To answer the original question, our first investigation here was in, I believe, 2017. It might have been late 2016, but 2017 roughly. Mm-hmm. So we've been working with a number of years here.
Our first time here, we had no knowledge of this artifact that was here at one time, and then it was moved to Philadelphia to go on display at a brand new museum down there. A spirit from that artifact reached out to the medium we were with, and she started talking Benaj Kapta. She pulled his name out, and I had no idea what she was talking about, and they knew what she was talking about because when we went back downstairs, the treasurer who's in the back of the room right now says to the curator, the vice president Patrick, she started talking about the hat. Started talking about the hat, like, what hat are you talking about? He's like, you sit next to me. He was totally like calm and quiet the whole time, and this hat that belonged to a Revolutionary War soldier defending Long Island, Battle of Long Island. He was shot by the British. And the hat that he was wearing is now it's in the museum right now. It's just like endless stories about this place. Like connected to the artifacts. Yes, the artifacts that are here connected to the people that were once here. Just like incredible, like weird coincidences. Just over the years that pop up and happen. It's just cool.
Like a very odd social club.
Yeah, you could say a social club.
For you guys, at least. You know?
For us, oh yeah, definitely. A ghostly social club.
A ghost social club. All right. What are we going to do? What do you want to ask it?
You want to turn the spirit box on and get this?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So this particular model, there's an FM and there's an AM radio built into one unit.
Nice.
And you can either do FM, AM, or FM and AM. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it might come in better on one or the other, so you don't really know. But I've used other ones that are just one or the other. I don't think it really matters too much.
No, if they want to come across, they'll come across.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the person asking the questions. It could be like the fact that, they're just, say I'm asking questions, they're comfortable with me and they want to talk to me. But say if I'm a jerk and they don't want to talk to me, they won't. And I've had that happen with one of my friends. He actually brought this one home to his house and he started asking questions and he was getting responses. And then he actually yelled at him, which I warned him about. He told him to speak up and someone said, "Fuck you," and it stopped. That was it. He didn't get any more responses.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I told you, don't be a jerk, which this guy is a jerk. Chased him away.
Testy.
And it really, but the fact that we're in their environment, they don't have to do anything to appease us, entertain us, or anything like that. They want to hang out. But anyway, so get back to the spirit box. So I have it running. All what this is, it's an amplifier, and I love the fact that it has the bass and treble on it, because what you do is you don't want bass in it. You want to be able to hear talking. So you turn down the bass, you turn up the treble. This thing here is called a noise gate, and it's a guitar pedal. And all what this does is it squelches that static noises if it's too strong and you can't hear it very well, you just adjust that. And you just like I just bought this stuff off of Amazon. And but anyway, so well, I'm just go ahead and crank it up here. So this is your typical noise that comes out of it. I can hear it very well. So that's a typical noise that has static and everything in it. And then you squelch it down, so you just kind of hearing the static. And as you notice, you're not hearing radio broadcast at all, which is great. So most likely anything that's coming through is going to be some kind of entity speaking. Hello, is anyone here with us? If there's someone here with us, can you please tell us your name? Spirits, I'm holding something in my left hand. Can you please tell us what it is? What am I holding? I'm gonna pick up another object. What am I holding now? What is this? What's in my left hand?
Now it's jumping, right? Constant. It never picks up the signal, right? That's the sound of it, right?
And what's kind of cool is like the fact that I've been part of like conversations over the internet, and I would ask questions from afar, and I still get responses.
All right, so wait. Question first.
Yep.
So the shh. That's it. Constantly not being able to tune in. It's constantly jumping.
Well, okay. Okay, you're hearing the squeaking noise, but that static is actually introduced. The guy, I think he built it where there's a white noise generator built into it. So the white noise is all sounds, and you're able. Well, the theory is the entity is able to pick out the sound or use that white noise somehow to form the words.
Can the spirits hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let me know when I can ask them a question.
Okay.
Okay. Spirits, I mean no disrespect. Believe me when I say that. I got one question for you. What color is his sweatshirt? You enjoy being talked to, spirit. Is it fun for you to have conversations, spirit? Did I jump?
I thought I said blue.
I heard a ooh. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did one of you guys just say you heard blue?
Honestly, we all heard an ooh sound, but he could have said Joe think he heard blue, but
it was very close.
It could be
I thought I heard
suggestive.
blue.
It could be wanting to, so it's hard to say. But
Right, and that's one of the reasons why you have to record everything.
Did you record that?
Even if you hear it, you go back and listen to the recorder, and it sounded nothing like what you thought you heard.
Okay.
Because it's part of it. You want to hear something, or it catches you off guard, and you're trying to figure out what he said. It's like, well, maybe it said this or that.
Mhm.
I screwed myself up a few times where I thought I heard a particular name, and I'm talking to that person, and I go back to the recorder, and it wasn't that name at all. So I was asking for someone that wasn't there, and it kind of screwed me over like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Sorry, that's just awesome.
Yeah, it's really it's hit and miss. I've done this day, night, different weather, climate, you name it. There's no reason why it works one time.
Right.
I might go. It might be completely dead air for half an hour. I turn it back on, and you swear there's a party going on in this room.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense.
Wow. All right. Genius. You got anything you want to?
No, I wanted to ask a question again about the device. So, Ken, one thing I wasn't completely clear on. Is it constantly cycling, or does it stay on each, like, a certain number of frequencies, and it stays on each one for a certain amount of time?
Yeah. Okay. On this device here, I mean, you can see this.
Yeah.
You'll see different speeds.
Okay.
And so you could choose the speed. A lot of people like it super fast, where you can't make out
Yeah.
anything that's being said.
Okay.
I like it as slow as possible.
Yeah. So what do we have right now?
It's in milliseconds. So the FM is 300 milliseconds. The AM is 350.
Okay.
I like it. It depends too. Like if I hear a lot of broadcasts coming through, I'll go faster.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's why, like you said, like you could take this home after this, and there could be something on there that we still didn't hear.
Correct.
There could be disembodied voices that are coming through right now as we talk
Yes.
that we can't hear. You know.
Yeah. So one of the things too is it doesn't have to go through the radio.
Yeah.
They can literally just be talking.
Yeah.
Or go one or the other.
Comes through on something like this, a digital recorder.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. You take it home, you listen to it, and the voices say that you could go back on this and watch the video, and you didn't catch on the video, but you caught on the recorder that was sitting like 3 feet in front of the. It's weird how that happens like that sometimes.
Yeah. So like part of my whole thing that how I investigate this, I'll go into a building and say there's 10 rooms. I'll throw at least 10 recorders around it in each room, and I'll try to put cameras into every room.
Yeah.
You might get a voice in the second bedroom just talking to you, responding to you from anywhere in the house.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it is. Like I say, you could be, like I said, you could be here, and there's someone in the next room over here responding to you, but you won't know it unless there's a recorder in there or someone sensitive they can actually hear it. Which I've heard stuff with my own ear. It's very rare. I don't like to rely on it because I know I'm missing stuff.
Yeah. So that scenario you just described, I would assume if you had 10 rooms mic'd and you were going through and you didn't realize that the upstairs bedroom was answering all the time, I would assume that you guys would then go back and focus on that room. Has that scenario ever played out? And like, has it been like a really, really good end up being a really good investigation?
No, good question. So what I like to do is I'll try to triangulate too with my voice recorders. Say like that second bedroom is the hot spot. I might put like a second voice recorder in there and maybe like another camera. So I'm actually like crossing cam. So I'm getting everything in that room. And it might be completely dead the next time, but at least that builds on my knowledge on how this works.
Yeah.
Kevin, before you go into any case, I do a questionnaire. Some people just interview witnesses and whatnot. You get the hot spots of the house before you go in. You got like what people experience before you go in, and you kind of focus at least I do. You kind of focus on like the most if the hot spots are like the master bedroom or the main stairwell or the kitchen. You try if that's the most amount of like paranormal witnessing that's taking place. You want to focus on those areas, or like you go into a location and you just get a weird feeling, a weird sensation in one room, and you don't say anything, and then the rest of the team comes in and they walk through and they're like, how do you feel? And they're like, oh, that master bedroom. I'm like, yeah. So like, and they have claims in that room, so you like kind of like build around what you like discovered beforehand, and well, I do anyway, and try and set up for that. Like if it's like the hot spot, definitely in that bedroom, in that master bedroom, then yeah, set up a couple of cameras, a couple of recorders, maybe like they're seeing shadows in this general direction and aim for that direction, or like set up like a ball. Another good a favorite of mine is if it's like or I can like a cement floor, do like a circle and fork, and put like a ball in the middle of the circle, and put a camera on that ball, and invite the spirits to interact with that. And if they're intelligent spirits, they might actually like go ahead and touch the ball. I wasn't on this investigation, but in this place, the Pain House, investigators of mine watched the ball go back and forth on command in a room right in front of them. They watched it move. You do it. Joe, the guy holding the camera was a part of that. You know, so it's just like you gotta like focus on some of those hot spots or on some of the like you gotta do your homework before you go in.
You guys need like an A-team type intro, like where you all come running out with your equipment, up in the van, everybody, freeze frames on every one of you, and you got your stuff. It'd be like Kevin Hart. He'll have like, and then he goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'm just suggesting that you guys do that from now on for the whole Ocean
Great
State
to sit
Paranormal.
down for a beer. Yeah, absolutely. I'm down.
All right, I'm sorry. Back to you, Kevin.
IPA of the day.
All right, what do we want to do? What do we want to try next?
I'll put the spirit box on, and if you guys have questions, like I said, they're going to hear you, and so maybe you guys will get responses out of it.
Tim, where is the recorder? Like, where are your recorders placed? Is it just right here?
At this point in time, I'm just going to demonstrate. I keep one right next to the spirit box, the speaker for it. This is, people call it a portal, but it's just a speaker. It sounds cool, call it a portal.
Yeah.
I'll keep one there. What I like to do is in that same room I'm operating this, I will have at least one recorder as far away as possible, because what I noticed is that I could be in a room, say, bedroom, I could be asking questions, and an entity might actually go into that room itself and hang out in that room. And like I said, you might hear a disembodied voice over the recorder. However, the recorder next to the speaker, because it's so noisy, it's not going to pick up anything else in the room. And I've actually got, I tell you the truth, I got more stuff off of a camera with a crappy audio, but the spirit is playing to the camera.
Yeah, I don't see it as being something that like, wow, I get a more expensive one, so it's gonna work better. I don't see that being even something that should actually, matter at all.
No, actually, yeah. What you want is the best recording nature spread. So these recorders, I could pick up, too much. And what you really want is as small as area as possible. Because I'd rather have, like I said, 10 voice recorders spread out versus one trying to pick up every room. Because what happens too is that entity could be talking to you only through one recording device and not any other ones, or multiple ones could pick up the same voice. There's just something to it that I figured is like, holy crap, I could literally put two of these recorders right next to each other. One would get a voice and the other won't.
That's the creepy part.
Yeah, and so to me, that's saying this isn't your typical sound waves, how we communicate.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I've always said that it's catching something that's not quite in sync.
Right. This reminded me too when I was asking questions on Facebook about people getting scratched, and one of my builder friends from Australia, he said there was someone from England, this engineer scientist, actually examined someone who got a scratch, and they determined it was beta radiation.
What?
And I'm like, I've never heard of that before. It was so. What was that?
I said I've heard of the Hulk. That was gamma.
Now, to me, you could get a radiation burn, and it looks just like a physical scratch, but it wasn't a physical scratch.
Wow.
That's another good thing. Not that scratch part, but like in general, you guys get to talk and meet other intelligent people like that, that have stories and like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like in the world of sports, sometimes you could be talking to a complete dummy. You know what I mean? That's how that goes. Whereas with you guys, you got a better chance that everybody's, can hold a conversation, which I appreciate. Genius. What do you think of that?
No, I love that. I love that. I was going to ask, if you don't mind me asking, I'm going to make an assumption that this is not your full-time job. What industry are you in?
I was literally just left 10 years of working for the U.S. Navy at the research and development place in Rhode Island.
Okay.
They do undersea warfare stuff.
Okay. No,
so I spent the last 10 years working with engineers and scientists, some of the smartest people in the world, with sonar equipment, torpedoes, mine warfare, and that's the stuff that I worked on.
Yes, that doesn't surprise me at all, because like I went to engineering college, and I'm technical by nature. And the way you talk, the way you describe stuff, obviously the rigor you put into how you set stuff up, and what you were talking about, you'd rather hear concentrated sound versus spread out. You've obviously thought this all the way through, which is awesome. It makes it that much more credible, I would say. Yeah,
I'm a logistician, and what I do is I plan for everything, spare parts, what ifs kind of a thing, and trying to. So that's how I take my ghost hunting stuff, where I go, what are the possibilities of X happening? And then I go home and then I do my review of everything. And literally I'll spend between 40 and 80 hours of reviewing my data that I collected. And then I'm going to adjust my theories. I might create new theories. Some of the, and there's bizarre stuff that happens within it. So like, take for example, the one show that I did for Paranormal Survivor, it didn't make it on the show, but the coolest thing happened was we were in the dining room, and it was hot as hell in this house, because I told the homeowners, close the windows, turn off the air conditioning units. I don't care how hot it is. I just want it dead quiet in here. Have your husband take the dogs away. I want nothing to disturb anything. And we were sitting in the dining room, and I just felt this cold breeze. I go, oh, thank God the air conditioning turned on. And then my buddy Jason goes, did you feel that? And I go, yeah. And the homeowner goes, I felt it too. The air conditioning is not on. You told me to turn it off. And upstairs above us, you can hear us talking on the voice recorder. You hear someone blow into the microphone. And I'm like, that was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced, because it happened once. And like I said, I felt a cold wind blow on the back of my neck. And all I think of was, oh, thank God, the air conditioning kicked on.
Kevin, tell me something. You're listening back to hours of stuff. Do you listen to it, or do you look like you put it up on the computer and look to see if there's like a blip, so you can kind of track it?
What I wasted so much money on this hobby. I bought a 4K laptop, and I use I had like 1080 video cameras, and I went up to 4Ks. And because I'm going, well, if I'm going to do this, get the best thing I could get. And so I'll put it on, I'll put the video on. I might watch like 4 to 8 videos, even though it's like, I'm being on a 4 hour event. It's going to take me forever. But what happens every time you listen to one, you're like reliving that event. And I realize how much stuff that I forget that happened that night. So what I do is I'll have like my book, and I keep a track of like where everything is, and then hopefully I could go back and on a next investigation, and you adjust on how you're gonna, like I said, like Buddy was saying, like there might be a hot spot. That hot spot is really good, and so you go back and focus on that more, and then you try to like, okay, why is that a hot spot?
See, now this is why he's successful, Kev, because see that right there, the whole listening back and stuff. Like I was in a band, we would have like a 4-hour practice, and then they'd be like, make sure you listen back to the stuff we did. I couldn't listen to a single minute of it. It was like I already did it, I lived it, I couldn't listen to it. I don't have attention span to sit there and listen to it all out. Like that's a whole other type of person. I'm being serious.
I tell you what, it sucks, but at the same time, it's the most thrilling thing that could happen. Literally, I'm nodding out, listening and watching stuff. He was staring at a blank wall for 3 hours. You know, like, oh my God, what's going on? And all of a sudden, a shadow moves by, and your adrenaline just shoots up. And like that was freaking awesome. And then or something
happens. Something happens on video, like audio. For me, I'd rather listen to audio because I make mental notes, and I'll make notes on the recording when something happens right here. If I hear something in particular, I'm like, oh, note this at this time, and so I'll go back and listen to it. With video, it's a little bit more challenging because you're just watching video, and 99% of the time when you're watching video, you're watching fucking nothing, and it's so boring. But when something happens and you catch it on video, whether it ends up being something or not, the efforts that you go to slow it down, to go frame by frame, to analyze the video as much as it's exciting, and then to go back to, if you get to go back to that location and investigate that very same spot to get additional evidence or to learn additional facts about that, why that might have happened, it's cool. It's not always just like bam, in the moment something happens, you understand right then and there and it's over. It's honestly the things that I've gotten EVPs and people have had personal experiences at a place not too far from here, and it took over a year to put every piece of that puzzle together. Be like, oh wow, this is why this happened. It's like a bad place at a time, but you don't know all that stuff beforehand. So it's cool to have that. Investigating is unlike ghost hunting. It's more in depth. It's more involved. Holy shit, it's so involved sometimes.
You know what though? If I was in your situation, I would have had somebody dress up like Bigfoot, and then right before the show was about to end, I would have had him run through the door and like knock you guys to the ground and just cut the feed, because we would have been freaking out, right, Kev? That would be like.
And then the Sci-Fi Network thing logo would have come up, and the show would have ended.
I want to say, Marty said, 95 to 100% of what's experienced happens in the review process.
Yeah. All right. Kev was muted, but he's talking.
What I was going to say is, you were joking about the Bigfoot thing. If Joe just slipped away and whispered into one of the receivers and answered one of those questions, we all would have peed our pants.
Yep.
You and I would have both been like, so. Yep. I can't remember focusing on something more intently than I was doing when you were asking. We're all like, what was that? What? Yeah.
I would shut it off. I'm out.
Now, another thing too, I like to add is that
all right, let's give it some
to actually fake stuff and try to get away with fraud and everything. But I've had clearances, top secret and secret clearances for over 25 years now. And so that is just not in my nature to, be a fraud. And unfortunately, it's a really easy thing to do in this field, the fake stuff. But I wouldn't do it if I were just trying to, fake it. Because
right, I feel like the people who are trying to fake it or who do fake it, and there are quite a few people who do, and I feel like they're doing it only to make a name for themselves, only to propel themselves, not to propel the science or whatever we're doing here, whatever you want to call it, science, or it's just an actual investigator or a ghost, whatever you want to look at it. It's somebody who wants to get something out of it and be able to educate others is my feel about it.
Plus, if you're gonna fake it, you might as well fake it so that it's so ridiculously hilarious. Like you just, if you're gonna fake it, I would fake it like the clown came in, Kev, on riding piggyback on a Bigfoot. All right, let's try one of these things. Let's ask some questions.
All right.
That had to have been a radio station. But it's so intelligent. Had to have been a radio station. 100%.
Spirit, do you like beer? Some really good beers tonight.
What to do with this right now?
Spirit.
Go ahead.
Spirit, what are your thoughts on the Gatling gun?
Spirits, what's behind me right now?
Is Major Jim Wilson here?
There's the radio. There's a radio.
Major Jim Wilson.
It kind of sounded like you said, I'm here.
Yeah, I just thought I
Major
said.
Jim Wilson, if that was you, can you do it again?
I heard the word here.
Yeah, I heard
I
it.
thought I heard something.
I'm
Major
alive.
Jim Wilson, do you appreciate the changes that they're making here at the Armory?
What was that?
Who said that?
Did you change it too?
That's what it sounded like.
Who just said that at the end?
It was a question. It was a
Who was
question.
that?
Who talked at the end?
That was me. Because we're trying to figure out what we thought we just heard. So I want to interject. I know I'm behind the camera, but whatever just came through, I want to point out. I don't know how you guys can hear it on your end, but it came through multiple suites of channels. So it's not staying on one FM or AM station. It's going through 930, 940, 950, 960. So it's very difficult for any long string of words like that to be a like radio contamination. Not saying it's not possible, but those are the things that we look for, is long strings of sentences or words with similar sounding tones. And is it possible for that to have come through 3, 4, 5 different sweeps of different channels on an AM or FM wave?
What did I just hear, though, Kev?
And in this case here, it was a response, and an actual response to what Buddy asked. Do you like the changes? Did you change it too?
Who said that line? Did you change it too?
The radio, the spirit box.
Yeah.
That came through on the radio, the spirit
Genius.
box.
Genius.
Wait, I heard that. So none of you said anything. This came out of the box.
I repeated it after it came through the box.
Yeah.
But we all stopped and looked at each other like, what the fuck did we just hear?
All right. So what happens next? You have to like take the Kevin has to take this stuff home.
Yeah, I know it.
So now we know someone's willing to communicate with us, and it's a good chance it's
Major Jim Wilson. I asked for Major Jim Wilson. I'm here, and then I said, "Do you like the changes that they're making here at the Armory?" And you like the changes, or are you part of it? And it was a response from what I would assume would be Major Jim Wilson, who was a former curator here at the Armory. So I'm going to continue with that line of questioning if Major Jim Wilson is the one, in fact, that's answering. You know
All right, take it away. Take it away.
And then to build off of that was, if you were doing this for a client and you're asking for the deceased husband or father, whatever, the client's gonna know who that sounds like.
Right.
And so oftentimes, it's like in this case here, say we're in someone's house, Buddy asked a question, you get a response, they could go, "That's my father," because that's exactly what he sounds like. Now in this case here, if one of us knew what General Wilson sounded like, we go, "Oh, that was him," or that's the kind of words he would say or something,
For genius, Kev, don't you feel like we're being set up right now? I'm getting a little bit nervous. Before I heard somebody say that word, and now it's like they're acting like it's no big deal, Kev. They're like, "Oh, yeah, that's what he said." Buddy's got a bear like he's holding like James Bond. Well, we'll hear it again. Oh, tomorrow the playback. Me and you were sitting here going, "Did we just hear that?" And they won't tell us really.
Yeah. It took a very long time to get a straight answer that nobody said anything.
Hey, the best part is everything's recorded, so you guys can also go back and hear it once it's finalized and hear exactly what we just played through, because everything's being recorded. You're basically, by recording the show, doing your own live DVR recording.
If you all hear that word, because I wanted to make sure you guys aren't screwing with me, because somebody talked and said a line right after the thing. Now it wasn't you guys.
We all heard it. if you pause for a few seconds and Joe repeated it.
Stupidly, I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but I was just repeating what we thought we'd heard through the spirit box because truthfully, I didn't expect to get a response back because that's what happens.
And
it doesn't happen on command
and it
like
was
that.
nice and clear.
The other thing, King, we may be screwing up the whole process because we're like the two rookies. We're like, we should
Yeah, actually, the fact that you're new to it, there's almost like an excitement or something goes on because you're
You guys
introducing
didn't seem
yourself
excited.
to
I'll
it.
tell you that.
And because like the very first time I turned on a spirit box, someone just emphatically just yelled hi, and I was like, "Holy crap!" What was that?
Well, Kevin, when we start marketing your spirit boxes, they're all going to do that. As soon as the first time you power it up, it's going to scream out hi. And
Yeah,
That's what you think, but no.
and yeah, and then like the fact that being new to it, like I said, they might be like, "Oh my God, it's Mike and Kevin. I want to talk to them." It could be a relative of yours coming through because it doesn't matter where they are. There's a lot of times it's like it's just somewhere. Who knows where this entity actually is? Sometimes they're in the building, in the room, standing right next to you, or somewhere else. We have no idea. But
So
like,
wait.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. On the record, what again was the question, and what again was the response? We're all in agreement that we somewhat think.
All right, there was two questions. The first one, I asked for Major Jim Wilson, who was a former curator here, whose apparition was seen in this very area that I'm sitting in right now, who lived in that apartment right in the back of the room, right to the left of that white bar. So I asked, is Major Jim Wilson here? And we heard within about 3 or 4 seconds, I'm here. Here being the most clearest of that sentence. Then I asked, do you like the changes that are being done here at the Armory? And what did he say? He said, I
Is something along the lines of like, are you changing to, or is it changing to something like that?
Yeah, like am I?
Did you make the changes to her?
Yeah.
But it was a question. Why would anyone broadcasting a radio program say that?
Right. At the very
It
same
makes
time,
no sense. It makes no
within
sense.
seconds of me asking the question, why is it responding through several radio stations to a question that I'm asking, and I'm not broadcasting where we are on the internet, but you're recording. We're not broadcasting anything, but just asking a question is, why is it coming through like that? Why is it saying I'm here in the very, within seconds of me asking for a specific person that was once connected to this very room that we're sitting in?
In all previous questions about me holding objects, we got nothing.
Right.
There's a possible blue for the sweatshirt. We don't know that, but nothing else worked. But when he asked for a particular person who is associated with this building, and we do believe he is either here or visits here, because this is his home.
This was his life.
Yeah, it was his life. It was his life.
Hey, Genius, what just happened?
I'm not going to. They just summed it up.
No, I know, but I'm saying to you, I know what they just said.
Yeah.
But in reality, what just happened? Like, I gotta go downstairs and they'll be like, "How's the show?" And I gotta go. It went pretty good, and towards the end, we spoke to a spirit.
Buddy spoke to a spirit. Let's say.
Now,
I
he's also comfortable with Buddy because Buddy's been here quite a few times.
This is what I asked earlier.
Buddy
About the
respects museum.
Mhm.
And this Wilson guy, he might really like Buddy. He treats him as a friend.
I spoke to him many times here. Right now I'm drinking Ultra by the farm. And I've addressed him by name. I respect this facility here. I tell everybody I know about it. I raise money as a fundraiser for and donate it to this facility. So maybe he knows Buddy as like this guy's all right. You know, we'll let Buddy in. We'll talk to Buddy. We'll tell Buddy what he wants to know. Or maybe we'll give Buddy we'll dangle Buddy a little treat because we know Buddy because Buddy's good people, right? Good people like the Italians, like you know about that, Mike.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm in favor of us trying to ask a bunch of questions again before we wrap things up because I'll go so fast. But let's just throw out some questions, buddy. You can throw them out. I mean, but let's just get a little more of this because that way I can digest everything slowly.
Right, digest. Yeah. Oh, okay. Jim Wilson, if you're here, give us a sign. Say something, please.
I don't know. Jim Wilson, what am I holding in my hand? What is this, Jim?
Jim, do you know Patrick? You know Tim? Do you like what they're doing here? Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Amen, brother. They're doing a good job. We think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Jim, is it you who goes to the door and goes down the stairs?
Who said absolutely?
Absolutely.
That was
And in the
clear as
same
day.
voice,
Who
say
said
something
absolutely?
What did it say that?
Oh, look.
Are we saying the word absolutely just came out of that speaker?
Yes. Clear as day.
My
Absolutely.
God.
What did it say the second time?
I'll be seeing this. Enjoy
Wow.
the rest of the show. I'm out. I'm only kidding,
Yeah.
but not really. I'm scared to death. All right, let me get back out. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Jesus.
So Mike, what Mike said is very interesting. Like he's like scared to death. I'm not scared at all, and you guys don't look scared. Like, is
No,
this
no,
what a
no,
lot
no.
of this is like?
I think we're all fighting back how happy and thrilled we are.
Yeah.
It's very
Is this what
exciting.
Like it doesn't seem like you guys are like, wow, this is a malevolent thing. This is like we should pack up and leave. It seems like it's almost like a conversation with someone that happened, like with another person in the room that we don't see.
Kevin, let me tell you something really quick. If we were just sitting here bullshitting and this fire truck suddenly pushed and went rampant off the table, that'd be the most amazing thing ever. Right? That'd be freaking awesome. That's exactly what you're looking for. Like you're sitting in an investigation, like, come on, I want you to touch me, pull my hair, poke my head, and then you feel like that damn on top of your head, like, holy shit, I was just touched. Or like you feel like jabbed in the back of the ear. Like that's the validation that you're looking for.
The only thing I want to say about that, buddy, is that's how Poltergeist started. The circle on the linoleum,
Right, the doll and the clown and the fucking tree. And, oh my
ended,
God. I hate that
ended
movie.
with people inside the television trying to
These
pull.
goddamn awful things. I hate
pull
dolls.
the-
They're awful. Fuck you, doll. And yeah.
Was
That's
the
how
word?
it starts, right? With the Ouija boards and the voodoo and the goats. Yeah.
There was
No,
no-
the word
we don't use goats. And we don't use Ouija boards. But it's cool. You invite something to happen, or you invite them to say something, or you ask a question very specific to history that you know the answer to. And there's an answer.
Timeout. Universal symbol for timeout. Kev, I get three left in the game. Here's my timeout. Did we hear the word absolutely not from you guys?
Yes, you did.
Clearly. I asked about the curator, who's the vice president, and the treasurer, Patrick and Tim. And I'm like, do you know these guys? And it said, absolutely. During this man's lifetime, neither one of these two gentlemen worked for this organization. Neither one of these two gentlemen were involved with this organization. It only became involved here within the 2 or 3 years after this man Wilson died. So,
all right, buddy.
Yeah, we're talking to the spirit. Yeah, I think so.
Kev, genius.
Yeah.
They're all happy right now because this is like a home run and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What are you making of this? Because you definitely heard absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
I heard both of them. The one a little while ago and this one. I heard
clearly.
both.
Absolutely, it's clear.
Very clearly. And you know what's interesting? Like when we hear their recordings, we have to listen to them over and over, and we say, "Can you point out where the other voice came in?" This was live, and everyone heard it, which is really, really interesting. And like all we know so far is that we heard something on the box that nobody said that was an answer to a question, and we got to go from there. And you know,
every response was a phrase that you would use to Buddy's question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like random radio shit. It was actually like, hey, do you know this guy? Oh yeah, absolutely. Or hey, is this guy? Yeah, I'm here. It's just like you. At what point is that not coincidence anymore? At what point is that like you're talking to somebody who's actually here that we just can't see?
And also to add, when there wasn't a question, nothing came through.
Right. It was just sweeping.
It would just sweep. You hear the white noise static, and that's it.
So Kev, are you, like, is all this being recorded? Not just on the pod, not just on our YouTube stuff, but are you recording this like to go through?
I'm not doing it myself.
No. Okay.
Really, I wasn't expecting it to happen.
Right.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. Were you guys expecting that to be as clear as like that was just that?
That was super clear. In fact, it's very rare to get it so clear. Most of the time, it's like a whisper or a faint response. Like Joe mentioned this a long time ago. It's like it almost sounds like a distant yell sometimes, but it's really faint. And that sometimes you get that through the spirit box like that, or just a disembodied voice. And so there's a reason why all of a sudden it's coming in crystal clear. I don't know why.
All I'm gonna say is, you guys owe Major Wilson a huge solid.
I kind of want to wrap it nice and neatly here because it's like, you know, if you drain a couple threes in a row, you just go off in the sunset. That's the smart thing to do with the game. What do you guys want to say in conclusion? Because this has been like crazy. Wow. Fun though. Holy jeez.
Well, for us, it's same old, same old.
Yeah, plug what you want to plug though. Like, let me know what else is going on, buddy. If you want to talk about it next week, whatever you want to do before we wrap up.
Okay, before we wrap up, next week we are expecting a guest by the name of Carl L. Johnson. Carl is he's been around forever. He's a demonologist, essentially. So Carl is Carl. If you guys have seen the movie The Conjuring, or at least have heard of the movie The Conjuring, before that became a big to-do, before that became Ed and Lorraine Warren's case, that was Carl Johnson went in with his brother when they were just 19, and they had tremendous experiences. So Carl did stuff like that for a while, paranormal stuff, and now he's a demonologist, which is a whole different animal from what I do.
And he was on the first two seasons.
He was on the first two seasons of Ghost Hunters on the Sci-Fi Channel as their demonologist, and he's just a wicked down-to-earth guy. He's always supported what we do at Ocean State Paranormal, whether it be lectures or we do fundraisers for historical groups. So whatever we do, he's always been like involved and be like, yeah, I'll come and support you guys. And just like a cool guy, really cool guy. So we're happy to welcome Carl next week. He'll be live on the StreamYard, and I hope to get this place, Barnum Armory. I'd like to have probably like a 2-part series, because the first part doing what they do here, their conservation efforts and their links of history to not just the past, but Rhode Island's proud military standing in history. I'd like to do that. And then they have, like, as you can see, we have active spirits here. They have a lot of ghost stories to tell from this place. So I'd like to eventually do a 2-part series with them. Yes, Joe?
Okay. Let me interject really quick.
Yep.
After what we just recorded, you should be charging bachelorette parties out the yin yang to come to that building. Are you kidding me?
We do host, before coronavirus was around, we had close to 150 people in this very room for a gallery reading twice, back-to-back years. And he split the funds with the Armory. Like, he took 50%, they took 50%. We took nothing, and we just donated everything to the Armory. And we've had public investigations where we had the public come in, and they investigate with us in the building, not just like the spirit box session in the drill hall, but we do like sessions in the museum. We do sessions in the basement, which is extremely creepy. We do sessions in the tower, and all the money, again, we charge money for the tickets and whatnot, but all the money that we charge that we get, we donate right back to the Armory, because we appreciate what they do here.
We just recorded the perfect commercial for the Armory. like no, for real.
Paranormal, buddy, there.
Am I right?
No, you're right. I think it would be great. So
we bring these to every investigation.
And yeah, no, this is a good building. It's a good organization. I'm happy that they let us do what we do here, and they support us and we support them. So that's what I hope to bring. But next week is Carl Johnson, and he's an awesome guy, and he's got some incredible stories, and he's going to tell you some dark and evil stories about demons and dark spirits and more than scratches, like really crazy shit. So tune in next week, and maybe Buddy will have a different beer of the week. I finished about 4 of them tonight, and I feel pretty tremendous about myself.
How about Kevin and Joe? Anything you guys you want to wrap up with?
I have nothing else to add to that. Stay tuned until next week.
Yeah.
Joe?
I got nothing. I'm pretty excited about what happened tonight, so I'm still seasoned from ear to ear. So
Yeah, me too. Genius, we'll talk about this obviously when we gather ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick wrap on this, you guys. Remember, check out the website, legitfantasysports.com. We're adding new shows. We have different shows. We have this show, Legit Paranormal, which is absolutely crazy. And tonight was an amazing night. So for me, Mike Lepre, King Michael, Legit Paranormal from Legit Fantasy Sports. Thank you guys, and we will talk to you next Sunday. We are done.
Wow, that was another great episode of Legit Paranormal. That aired, that had to be the end of February 2021. That was one of our first 10 shows, like I said. Watching that show, it gets me excited as an investigator again. It gets me excited as someone who visits the armory, who investigates the armory, who does stuff like this. It just was an investigator who gets to talk about stuff like this all the time, and just like to experience stuff like this, to see what we experienced. I mean, it wasn't just the absolutely that we heard. We heard a few different things, like the blue possibly come through the spirit box, describing Kevin's sweater, and what else? It was the were you part of the changes? Like when I started addressing Major Jim Wilson, for example, who was a former curator there at the museum at the Armory for 34 years. So that just about wraps up for tonight's show. Tune in tomorrow night live at 8:05, where Auntie Dale will host It's a Legit Metaphysical World live at 8:05. You can tune in at legitpodcast.com or any other of the various networks that we are seen on, our YouTube channels, our Rumble channels. I don't really know what Rumble is, but Mike says it's like the Republican YouTube. I don't know, whatever. Or various Facebook networks. Tomorrow night, Auntie Dale is joined by Reverend Denise Roberge. She's been an intuitive channeler for her clients for 30 plus years, integrating her formal education as a social worker and counselor and her love of healing in the metaphysical arts. She has extensive experiences in both individual and group settings to facilitate healing in trauma, recovery, domestic abuse, substance abuse, and mindset blocks and more. She also is ordained in the I Am Metaphysical Ministry program and World Christianship Ministries. Dale will be welcoming Denise Roberge, which should be a good conversation tomorrow live at 8:05. Wednesday, we have Paranormal News with King Michael and Dreamy David Ball live at 8:05. Live at 8:05. Thursday night, we have Legit Paranormal Clips. It'll be myself, King Michael, the Legit Witch, Roxanne Jasparo, and Black Island Rick. I almost want to call him Black Island Dick, but I don't know Rick that well yet. So Black Island Rick, he joins us live at 8:05, and we're joined by paranormal investigator Tony Rathman, part 2. And Tony will take us through 2 or 3 more of his really amazing clips of data, of paranormal data that has been collected on various investigations throughout the year. So that's it for me, Buddy Thayer, for legitpodcast.com. I don't know, have a good night.